I'm Jocelyn Aspa with the Investing News Network. Here with me today is John Kaiser of Kaiser Research. John, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me on.
Zinc is currently posting its longest streak of gains in 2 years. Why do you think this is the case?
Well, it's a bit incorrect to say that it's posted its longest streak of gains. The sad thing is zinc sank down to about 74 cents after bumping at $1.10 about a year ago when it looked like it was ready for a breakout. I think at this point the shutdowns of the Western mines like Lachine and Century, it's all starting to add up. And in China itself, they have concentrate problems. China used to be the big supplier of concentrate. Their refineries are now short. So the price of zinc has started to rise, and the expectation is that China can simply ramp up supply once the price is a little better. But I'm of the view that China's own environmental awakening is going to limit its ability to expand zinc beyond its current level, which has flatlined for the last couple of years. The big breakout is still to go to $1.20. $1.20 is what the market wants to see.
On the other hand, zinc supply is reportedly the lowest it's been in 10 years. Do you see the zinc supply picking back up at all?
There are very few mines in the development pipeline. The earliest ones are three to 5 years down the road. Now, Chinese production comes from many small mines, and it is very poorly understood where exactly it all comes from, what the dynamics are that slow down output, and what can ramp up output. But in terms of Western mine supply, there's nothing on the immediate horizon that could turn around the supply-demand imbalance that is likely to develop over the next few years.
Okay. What is important for investors to keep in mind who are looking to invest in zinc?
Well, with zinc, one of the important things is the treatment charges and the retention level for zinc concentrates. The smelters have kept up to 15-20% of the metal, and they have very high treatment charges. And that's because there's always been a scarcity of smelters to handle zinc, so the poor producers got it in the chops. So when you do your calculations, your discounted cash flow models, you need to be aware that there are these high treatment charges and retention rates. The important thing is these treatment charges are coming down and the retention rates are decreasing as the refiners compete for scarce concentrate.
And lastly, with zinc prices on the rise, what companies stand out the most to you?
Well, in my recommended group, my Spec Value Hunter group, I have two companies. One, Arizona Mining, has a Hermosa Taylor project in southern Arizona, and this is a brand new discovery made next door to an open pitable project on which they'd spent $40 million, and when where the prices ended up, that was essentially worthless. But they found a new world-class zinc, lead, silver deposit, probably a 200 million ton footprint, and they only need 60 million tons. So now they've got 9 drill rigs on the project, delineating the whole system and then infilling where they want the highest grade portion to be for the initial 10,000 ton per day underground mining scenario. The other one is still cheap in zinc mining. It has the West Desert project in Utah, and it's also a skarn-based system, and they need probably $1.10 price to be worth developing. So they are still in a holding pattern, waiting for the big breakout. However, this project is very similar in a sense to the Hermosa Taylor in that this skarn sits there all by itself, not really related to the system that drove it. So it's a perfect project for an exploration campaign to be mounted, say $3 million, just to find out how does this whole thing hang together. It's never been done on a serious basis in the past. So this company could go through the same sort of explosion as Arizona Mining, whereas they put some deep, strategically placed holes in there. All of a sudden they discover an previously unrecognized dimension to this play and scale it much bigger and even more interesting, so it becomes more than just an optionality play on zinc ending up at $1.20 or higher.
Wow. Wow, sounds very interesting.
And I own shares in Zinc, but not in Arizona Mining.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me, John.
Thanks.
I'm Jocelyn Aspa with the Investing News Network.